As the story of Vic Mignogna and the sexual allegations against him continue, members of the #Kick movement and those that have accused Vic Mignogna of assault before, such as Jamie Marchi, Monica Rial, Ron Toye, and many others, are going out of their way in responding to those that do support Vic Mignogna, in having to go against in targeting YouTubers that are covering this news, alongside fans that are simply having to ask questions in regards to Vic Mignogna's accusations. As once more, if you guys are new to this channel and of course love anime and Dragon Ball, alongside want to be up to date with all the latest involving Vic Mignogna, Monica Rial, Jamie Marchi, Ron Toye, and the entire situation, then be sure to go on ahead and punch that subscribe button and turn on all notifications to never miss a single upload and to be up to date with all latest news and information, along with checking out and subscribing to my primary channel, Unreal and Gaming, where on there we are going to be covering lots of Dragon Ball content, anime, and gaming, so make sure you guys go on ahead and check that channel out over there, alongside following me on Twitter at Unreal and Gaming for all the latest updates, including if you guys have any articles and or pictures to tag me in or share with me, be sure to go on ahead and follow me on Twitter, as we do have Monica Rial, Jamie Marchi, and many others having to respond to fans over on Twitter, as Monica Rial went on to state, as I quote, "I never lied about anything. I've also never used a stupid hashtag. We have no other agenda than keeping people safe at work and conventions," which I do agree with. People should be safe in any kind of working environment. "Stop watching YouTube, I disagree. The videos being created for subs are slanderous." So basically here, covering the news from an objective point of view is somehow slanderous, then I guess CNN, Fox, MSNBC, and all other news stations should be sued for slander and or discredited because they're covering the news. Doesn't make any sense there. As an individual that goes by the name of Shadow goes on to reply and having to state, and I quote, "Wow, the YouTubers aren't even doing this for the views or subs. They have the right to say what's on their mind too." As another individual that goes by the name of Scarecrow goes on to reply, and I quote, "They absolutely are doing it for clicks, but when they are outright lying, claiming to be exposing people, it's just stupid." Which I do agree on the essence of exposing, because there's no real validity behind exposing public messages, but I do disagree with the fact that people are, quote, "doing this for clicks," which isn't the case at all. As Shadow goes on to reply, as I quote, "I disagree that they're doing it for clicks. They aren't even lying. I'm sorry that they found flaws in people's statements or see shit that is suspicious." As Monica goes on to reply, "It's 100% lies. Blatant lies." As an individual that goes by the name of Joshua goes on to respond, "Shadow, please, I understand what you're saying this about these YouTubers, but you have to understand that this is a touchy subject for Monica and Jamie. Please promise you won't bring this up again. Please," which I don't understand why someone shouldn't be allowed to talk about this, but Shadow continues, "Reply that to me and not Monica, since it's a tweet directed at me. I understand, but I don't like how people are making fun of the YouTubers because they don't deserve getting harassment, just like Monica or Jamie don't deserve getting harassed either." As of course this continues, Jamie Marchi goes on to respond, as I quote, "The YouTubers are the ones making up lies about us and then encouraging people to harass us. They take minor comments and blow them up into conspiracies. They are why the alt-right got involved. The YouTubers aren't being harassed. They're being called out for blatant lying." So what you're trying to tell me here is Yellow Flash, Emish is Live, Nick Rakita, myself, and many other people such as the Umbrella Guy, we're all lying from covering this narrative from an objective standpoint. That doesn't make any sense. As I've stated on so many videos before, with proof, with audio, to never harass these people, but to only question their stances as to why they feel this way. So questioning someone isn't a form of harassment when you're simply asking them, "Hey, so why exactly do you believe that Vic is wrong?" That is simply a question, and that question does not come in the form of harassment. So again, Jamie and Monica are now putting the blame on YouTubers such as mainly Nick Rakita for putting out this information, as Nick is planning to do a massive live stream with Ty Beard, depending on when you're watching this video, having the actual lawyer on himself. So I don't understand how YouTubers or why YouTubers should be discredited for simply having to cover the news from an objective point of view. But notice here how Monica and Jamie are pointing the finger now on YouTubers and blaming them for this entire debacle. As it continues, an individual that goes by the name of Kevin goes on to respond, as I quote, Vic got himself fired. As another user that goes by the name of Daragoth goes on to respond, the logic behind that is utterly flawed. Where is your evidence to back that? Something that can be used in due process and in the court of law. And factually speaking, Jamie has been a massive part of Vic being terminated. Do your due diligence or don't bother opening your mouth. As Jamie goes on to respond, you accuse me of using nothing but tweets to bring ruin to an innocent man's life. I am innocent until proven guilty, you must provide proof, which, again, is very hypocritical considering the fact that all the proof is out there in the world for Jamie Marchi calling for Vic Mignogna's head and balls to be placed on a plate in wanting to completely ruin the man's career. How is that being taken out of context, and how is that not evidence of her claims back in February? Again, it's kind of hypocritical to call that out, especially when the evidence is out there in the open. As it continues, an individual that goes by the name of Crispy goes on to state, as I quote, "I only say this out of respect for male victims of said crimes, and think fair representation on both ends is only fair, not just the majority or the minority." As Jamie goes on to respond, "I can see why you would feel that way. After all, women have been left out of more situations than one can count. And if we were included, it's usually under the generalization man. Using woman as a generalization actually makes more sense. Men is actually in the word." As an individual that goes by the name of Blue goes on to respond, "And what have women been left out of?" As Jamie goes on to respond to Blue, "0 followers, troll alert." So notice there how Blue is simply asking a question, and Jamie counters by having to look at his follower count and having to state, well, it's a troll because 0 followers. As Crispy goes on, hold on now, instead of labeling them a troll, why not inform them of what you believe? If they, after that point, are blatantly mocking you, then sure, call them a troll. Some people genuinely just want to look at your opinion, but can come off the wrong way. But I could still be wrong. I myself don't have many followers, but I'm trying to have an engaged conversation, and my name is even more of a joke than his." As Jamie goes on to respond, "After hundreds and hundreds of accounts with 0 followers have harassed, mocked, and demanded answers from me, I'm not engaging them anymore." As an individual that goes by the name of Boss goes on to reply, "Just because they have 0 followers doesn't mean that they're a troll. Or you're just trying to flex your beta cuck supporters." As Jamie goes on, "Oh god, get a new terminology that's at least interesting. This Wolfpack BS is ridiculous. You know that you're not actually a wolf, right? Insinuating that the individual that she just called out is a beta, someone that's not a quote alpha male, as wolves are considered to be the alpha predators when looking at the animal kingdom and how wolves operate." So again, kind of hypocritical for Jamie to go back on that and having to basically call someone else a beta by saying, listen, you're not a wolf, you're not a leader, you're someone that's not alpha, so thus you're beta. You know what I'm saying? So again, that is definitely hypocritical when looking at it from an objective point of view, but nonetheless, it continues as another individual that goes by the name of Deanna goes on to respond on Twitter by having to state, and I quote, "Why are YouTubers being stupid? Seriously, if you have no knowledge of the industry, keep your nose out. People are taking Marchi Mark and of course Ron Toy's sarcastic comments about Ron and Jack working in Funimation as fact," which again, this individual does not know what she's talking about because it goes far and beyond that. As Ravioli goes on to respond, "Because we're not NPCs like you." As another individual that goes by the name of DOS Warrior responds, "You sure about that? You Vic stans sure do repeat a lot of the same pre-programmed responses." As Jamie Marchi goes on to respond, "Well, the usage of the Wolfpack terminology as well as video game character descriptions certainly does demonstrate their knowledge of how the real world works." As DOS goes on, "I think they're just growing bitter and confused that Vic isn't suing anyone, thus making the lot of them look like the lying fools they are." As Jamie continues, "No one for except #blackface lawyer has said anything about being sued. Why would anyone believe a person who raises money for the sole purpose of threatening and harassing victims?" Which that in and of itself is a lie, because the money being raised for Vic Mignogna isn't towards targeting or threatening or harassing anyone. So why is that in and of itself being misconstrued and taken out of context? Whoever said that the Vic Mignogna GoFundMe was ever going to threaten or harass anyone. Whoever said that the $100,000 that's going towards that cause is being put towards having to maliciously attack someone or harass someone, that in and of itself is a blatant lie from Jamie Marchi, as not only the lawyers but Nick Rekieta and Vic Mignogna himself had come out and stated that the money that's being raised for that GoFundMe is going to be used for a charitable cause. So what is Jamie talking about? Again, I think this entire thing is really spiraling out of control. People are beginning to blame each other for this entire thing having to come about, with YouTubers having to cover this, with fans having to be blamed for asking questions, and people having to be silenced for having opinions on this. And I'm not one for censorship. I don't believe in censorship at all. I believe in freedom of practice, freedom of religion, freedom of speech, and freedom of assembly, and thus I feel as if people do have the right to say what's on their mind, so as long as it's not something derogatory or threatening in any sort of way, as from the beginning I never condone harassment to begin with. So with these people having to come out and blaming YouTubers and Vic Mignogna supporters is incredibly egregious, but by the end of it, I want to get your thoughts down below as to how you guys feel about this, and if you believe that they're in the right or if they are in the wrong. So once again, guys, thank you all so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you guys go ahead and slap a big fat like down below. If you guys are new to this channel, hit that subscribe button, turn on all notifications, make sure you guys also check out Unreal Ink Gaming, and I'll be seeing you all in the next video. As right now, I do want to go ahead and close out with a very eerie video of Vic Mignogna basically talking about all of this back in 2016 and the eerie message behind it on how he knew, but I do want to go ahead and get your thoughts down below as to how you guys personally feel about this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and let's take a look.
Emo Meme Actual here could go home tonight and get on Facebook and say, Vic Mignogna grabbed my butt.
Wow.
But you could, and who could stop you? And who would know whether it happened or not? Do you see how scary that is? It's terrifying. And if somebody was sad and lonely and felt unimportant enough and was so desperate for attention that they thought, I'm going to say something about somebody that a lot of people know just to get some attention. And I know this is not her, but if she were that desperate and she'd go home, oh my gosh, you guys, I was at this convention this weekend and I was getting an autograph for Vic, and when we were taking a picture, he slid his hand down, touched my butt, and squeezed my butt. What a pervert. And you know what? That could get picked up and spread around for thousands of people to read it, and then you know what would happen? I might not even be invited to events, because somebody on the staff would read that and go, we don't want that pervert here. Now she's affecting my ability to make a living. Do you see how scary that is? With no responsibility, right? Nobody knows if it happened or not. There's no proof. Just somebody who wanted some attention, and she might not even realize it doesn't even matter to her that she just destroyed my life. In her mind, she's like, woohoo! 300 people read my post. That's what she's thinking. She's thinking, look at all the people that noticed me. Look at all the people that are paying attention to what I wrote. I feel like somebody now. See how flipped around that is? That's scary, you guys.